Ready?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm always ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Discipline That Be podcast. I'm your host, EL Discipline, alongside me, Suhey Sotomayor, and we're going to get to the guest soon. But before that, we know y'all are fiends, and you know what that means. We're serving your dose weekly of discipline therapy where not everything is completely free, as we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. But what is free is judgment-free, sucker-free, censor-free, sensitive-free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, and my favorite, roll a blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversation. Prepare your minds to be fed light. One up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline That Be podcast.
We're here. All right. And as always, we like to give Joe and Center Stage Music Studios in Belmore a big shout out for always having the rooms ready when to use. Also, you want to check out our e-commerce store online, which is at disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. And you can check out any one of we have a bunch of categories. We have men's apparel, women's apparel, children's apparel, accessories, water bottles, you name it, tablecloths, computer stuff. We got it all. So check that out. And last but not least, you can purchase any one of Mr. E.L. Discipline's 7 published books. They're on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. They're also available for iPads and all electrical devices as well. We're also on, obviously, our YouTube channel. But if you can't sit and watch, if you don't have time, you could always listen to us on any one of the audio platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Music, Deezer, Castbox, Spotify, a bunch of them. So you can check wherever you get your audio entertainment from. We're there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special in-studio guest, Shakina.
Hi.
Name is very unique. Never heard that name before.
Thank you.
Where does that come from?
Yeah, so I learned that it's actually Hebrew, and it means
wow.
The dwelling of God's love.
That is so pretty.
Thank you.
Nice.
That.
Okay. So, just do you want to talk about what you do? If you don't, it's fine. We could just get right into the topic.
Sure. Yeah, I am a licensed cosmetologist, and I specialize in skincare services. Yes.
Yay, a fellow beauty expert. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode 149, season 14. The topic is what would make a woman not submit to her man. So, what we do here is guests always go first, whether they're women or men, and we do a panel discussion here. We don't do any debates unless you want to talk about masculine and feminine energy, and then I could debate you or educate you. But we get different perspectives here, and then we rock like that. So what do you think would make a woman not submit to her man?
So I think ultimately a woman doesn't submit to her man because she doesn't trust herself. And when you don't trust yourself, you don't trust in God.
Nice.
Yeah. I know the term submissive can be very triggering for many women. At one point in my life, it was triggering for me too because of the way that the term was used. But to me, submissive just means, just being in your natural feminine energy, pretty much. Being respectful, peaceful, just being that peace, and just allowing the flow, pretty much. Yeah, I believe. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. I believe that the mature masculine man is law and structure, and I feel that a mature feminine woman is that peace, that respect, that nurturer.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised by the answer because you said she said trust within herself. I would expect most women to say not trusting the man.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Yeah.
definitely different.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I like what she said, but I'm also gonna say probably with her answer not being able to trust, like the woman trusting herself, which ultimately is gonna lead her to not trusting him either.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a double whammy with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that her not knowing herself, not understanding where her her power comes from, where that feminine energy is what it's supposed to be like. I feel like the people the people that you surround yourself with can either uplift you or keep you down. So I think that that's important. Who she surrounds herself with, what they're in not in what impressions they leave on her if she doesn't know herself. What else? The environment that we're in, you know, the government, like all that stuff, I think plays a big factor in why a woman wouldn't submit. And like you said, that is a very triggering word for especially modern women
Mm-hmm.
because of what I feel they've been taught. It's always, as far as I have always heard it up until meeting, Mr. Discipline, it was always kind of used or maybe not used, but a lot of times women were taking it in a derogatory
Mm-hmm.
sense. You know what I mean? But I think that once people start understanding themselves and their own nature, that changes. It's no longer a bad term if you know yourself.
Mm.
Yes.
That's just
Those,
me. What the heck was
those,
that about?
those,
I don't know where that came from.
those are great answers by the two of you. So I'm actually gonna give the byproducts of them not submitting. Like you guys actually said the core answers, and I'm gonna like break it down on physiological, spiritual, because that's the nature that fights it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally ill, unhealed, unresolved trauma
Oh yeah.
that's brought into the new dynamic. She likes control, which is subconscious, like hyper masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
hyper brat tendencies. This is like the spoiled, person. You know what I'm saying? Because submission is giving, right? It's like you were saying, peace and patient, right? A lot of it has to do with selfless acts, selfless mentality, selfless energy.
Respect.
And if you're a brat, um, brats are the way they are is because they're enabled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they have that moniker. That's why they also believe it's something to be in. You know what I'm saying? I believe that those tendencies are toxic, but in different lifestyles, it might be welcoming depending on the opposing person or the counterpart, how they view it. So the brat can be subjective, can be playtime.
Mm.
It's not toxic to them. Um, Lack of leadership in men to the byproduct of the women not trusting.
Mm-hmm.
Because submission to your man is like synonymous with respect, patience, giving, trust, not resisting, lowering your guard, being open to receive, being open to learn, being open to listen, and being vulnerable. These are submission terms. Father wasn't present in these women's life to see what a man looks like and what type of energies he should embody, grandfathers, etc. Right? So it's very important that we educate the community because, like Sue said, the lack of education is the reason why certain people believe, oh, this is derogatory.
Mm-hmm.
This is not to be this way. This is not to be that way. But remember, we always go back and dive into our nature due to certain circumstances, survival, fight or flight, sexual arousal. We go back to our nature. We just instinctively do it. We don't know that there's a term to it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, sexually, why does the woman automatically get into the doggy style position? But she says, I'm a strong, independent feminist. Fuck men. women rule the world, then wouldn't she dominate in that circumstance too?
Mm.
You see? So instinctively, she's in a submissive position, ready to be dominated, but she's not going to look at it as, I'm being submissive right now, even if it's sexual. Because she's diving into her nature, because she's aroused. You see what I'm saying? Most women are not going to think, oh, I'm aroused. Oh, I can't wait to dominate him. No, you know what I'm saying? So, survival. Oh, my tire blew. You know what I'm saying? My tire blew. I'm not thinking I'm gonna, as a woman, man up and do it. Where's the man? Let me call AAA. Most likely they're gonna send a man to do it.
Yep.
So these certain circumstances just bring us back to our nature, even if we're not familiar of these terms. So it's very important that we educate the community, because part of women fighting submission is the lack of education. A lot of things are changing now. You see,
Yep.
a lot of people talk about problems, but not solutions.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a lot of women out there, even your hardcore feminist who wants to be submissive. She might be asking, well, how would you like for me to please you? And there's a lot of men out there that are just like, you got to figure it out.
That's awful.
This is the problem. See, if there was more education and letting them know, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution. For every action, there's a reaction. And if you get out of this path, this is the result. A lot more women would change, a lot more people would change. Now I'm speaking general, but if we specifically talking about women not submitting to their man, a lot more women would change, because women want to be in relationships way more than men. So if men are saying they like this, women are trying to figure out, well, how can I be it?
Yeah, communication is a big to do
interesting.
there. Yeah.
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 So do you think there's a universal nature of men and women? And if you don't understand that, I could give you an example.
Yes, I do think that there's a universal nature for men and women. I believe that, yeah, there's divine order. There's the yin and the yang, the balance of the masculine and the feminine, and basically, like as I said earlier too, I think just that masculine man is that law and that structure, and that the female is so the feminine is that nurturer naturally, that peacemaker, that respect. Yeah.
So
I agree. I do believe that there's a natural. What was the wording? Natural order.
universal nature of men and women.
Universal nature of men and women. Yes, I do. I do believe in that, and I mean, you can see how even in society, when things are, not in that universal nature, things kind of go wonky with stuff. You know what I mean? So I do think that there is. I just think that people don't know how to get into it, especially when they're out of it. If they've been like an older woman, let's say, if she's been out of her natural nature for a long time, it's hard for them to get back to that, especially if they don't even realize it. So I do agree with you with educating the masses, so that people can, maybe something clicks and they're like, that makes sense. Let me dive into why I'm not more feminine, or why I'm so masculine, or a man saying even, I don't know if men do that, but I am kind of more feminine than masculine. Let's see what I can change about that. You know what I mean? But I do agree with it.
Good answers.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, they get it, but just in case you don't, universal nature of men and women. So, for example, provider and protector, nurturer and gatherer. I just said earlier we revert back to our nature due to certain circumstances: fear, fight and flight, arousal, danger, survival. So there is, and we naturally just do this even if we're unaware of it. So provider doesn't necessarily mean monetary benefits. Doesn't necessarily mean financially, because you could be providing her an emotional space, safe space, physical space, safe space, sexual space, safe space, psychological, physically protecting. Just in a man's nature, we don't even think about it. We just believe men protect women. We don't say women protect men. Especially if we're looking at it on a physical aspect. They may protect a man spiritually, pray for him, protect them in the spiritual realm. But men protect women in the physical realm. So we just naturally believe like, oh yeah, men are gonna protect. We don't hear women protecting men. So yeah, there's a natural law. There's a universal behaviors that men and women exhibit. Okay. Would you trust a single mom to raise a boy to a man?
I don't think a woman can teach a boy how to be a man.
Why?
That's not her nature. That's not her natural nature, and I understand women. They can do the best that they can to raise the young boy, but as far as like teaching him how to be a man, I feel like that's a masculine's job, or role rather. Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. And at one point in my life, I didn't. I thought that I could, raise my son to be the kind of man that a woman would want. And I think a woman can teach her son, the basics, being respectful, being polite. But being a man, there's going to come a time where, just like, you said, we don't know anything, what it is to be a man. So I couldn't even pretend to put my mind into the type of problems or issues that a man has. And so it came to a time where my son, who is now 26, came to me and I said, I don't know how to help you with this. I'm not a man. Like, you need to go talk to a coach, your grandfather, your father, somebody else, but I don't know what I'm doing with that in that aspect. So I agree. I think the women, like you said, have the best intentions and they can go only so far with the basics. But as far as teaching them how to be a man, that is definitely a masculine role that has to be followed there.
Yeah. And I agree. No, I wouldn't trust them. And some people will say, well, I know some mothers who raised some good men. You know how, ladies?
With the help of their male family members?
Okay, what do you think?
I don't know.
Just take a educated guess.
I don't know, through observation. I don't know.
Through observation, how?
Of maybe like what they see. I don't know, within maybe their families or their circle.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys are sticking with the same answer, pretty
Like
much.
sports and stuff?
So
Yeah.
that's actually true.
Yay.
Okay.
So when you see that someone like, oh yeah, well I know some single mothers, understand that she got help. She put that son through sports, so now he has a male mentor, that coach that holds him accountable every day. Every day you're late for 50 push-ups. Every day they're teaching him discipline. Watching other people as he gets older, maybe a stepfather stepping in. So this is something that we leave out.
Yep.
Yes, this is something that we leave out. Yeah, she had him, and she's there, but behind the scenes, it's actually men that made him get to that level. It is not fathomably possible for a woman to raise a boy to be a man by herself. She's not putting him through sports. There's no brothers around, uncles, not her dad, which is going to be his grandfather. It's not possible that she just does it by herself. And he is
like
raised to be a
masculine.
man.
Right.
Would you trust a single mom to raise a daughter to choose the right man?
Oh, what a good question.
Right?
Oh my God.
I'm happy you go first.
Would I trust a single mom to raise her daughter to choose the right man? I think based on the mom's experience, she can help guide her daughter to choose. Oh, that's such an interesting question.
Well, first, do you have any children?
No,
Okay, so this is a toughie.
no, because it's like if the mom is single, it's like I understand. Like, oh my goodness.
Keep going. I think you're going somewhere.
You got her flustered.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give
It's
you
like
the
yes.
real-
It's like yes and no.
I'm gonna give you the answer.
Wait. Do you want to go after I go?
Yes.
Okay. She's like, yes, I do. I think that it depends on the woman. It depends on the mother. It depends on if she's healed from her traumas. Then I think, yeah, she can help her daughter navigate those waters. But if she herself is still wounded and still has trauma and still has, sees men as like the enemy, the op, then no, what she's holding on is gonna rub off onto her daughter or her son.
You kind of playing with the question. You're right, but
No,
you
it
kind of playing with the
it
question because
depends.
I'm asking a situation that's currently going on, not looking in depth.
If that mother
if it's just
is healed,
if it's
then
just
yes.
apple and oranges, no, you can't put healed or unhealed. Apples and oranges here. If it's just a single mom, can she teach her daughter to choose the right man?
Possibly.
Okay, now what do you say, Shakina?
She's like, that's the same thing I said. She said yes and no.
But it's like, what is the right man
Okay,
for the daughter?
so here's a follow-up question to probably trigger you.
Okay.
If she's single, then how can she help?
She's okay. So let me see. Wouldn't she, if she could help her choose right, wouldn't she not be a single mom?
See, I knew he was gonna go there.
Oh, that's why it was like such a tricky
that.
question.
Yeah, but why is she single? Did her partner die? Did her husband die? Like, there's different.
Yeah, you're.
I'm being technical.
Yeah,
I know a technical fighter too.
Yeah, but you're going in like I'm just stating something basic. Is basic right now. So here's the thing. There's an exception to the rule.
Mm-hmm.
It's what Sue said. But there's not a lot of exceptions to the rule. Do y'all believe that?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like a rare thing.
Yeah.
So the reality is, the answer is that no, she can't make her choose the right person because she's a single mom. And you know what's the fucked up part? Y'all probably not going to guess, so I'm going to tell you. The daughter won't even believe you. Remember when I talk about God and I'm like, oh, you might say something into the universe, you want something, but you do something behind closed doors. God don't even believe you. Are you talking about you want good men, but you fuck with the fucked up niggas? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you fucking with dudes who are evil and the devil, and that turns you on. You want to stay there. God doesn't believe you. He ain't giving you that. The ancestors don't believe you. They're not giving you that. You're a hypocrite. They don't believe you. The daughter will naturally grow resentment towards the single mom because the father's not there. Even if she's hearing one side and it's making her be glorified and him look like a deadbeat or a loser. So even this is the biggest part. So she might be able to think she could do it. The biggest part is you have to convince the person that you're leading to follow, just like submission. Mm-hmm. You have to convince the person that you're leading to follow. So if she don't see, yo, you not a success. She might not be that disrespectful to say that to her mom, but in her mind, she's just thinking, yo, you a single mom. Like, you can't even keep a man. Maybe I see men coming in every different week. You can't even keep a man. So what are you trying to tell me about, Deva? I can't believe you.
Lead by example.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard for her to do it because even if she's saying the right stuff, there's no evidence there.
That makes a lot of sense. So
in a sense of, wouldn't she not be a single mom if she chose the right man? That's true. That's true. I mean, if the mother and the father are there and they're telling the daughter, this is the type of man you need, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 secure your future, make sure you're in these situations, this is men you should run away from, entertain. and she just doesn't want to believe it, I promise you, eventually she's gonna get on board. You know why?
Mm.
It's easy. Y'all know, any one of y'all know why?
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 Because she already sees, yeah, they're still together.
Mm-hmm.
Mom told me this 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I didn't believe her. I was in a different space. But damn, they're consistent there.
Mm-hmm.
They're still together. So based off what she sees, that's what she's going to be like, yeah, eventually I want.
Yeah, but also like there are other situations where, you know, okay, my aunts who have, had separated from their husbands, they never got with anybody, anybody else, because that was how they were, raised to believe that I had a husband, I'm no longer with him, I'm not for anybody else, period. And, there are, in those circumstances, like I think everything it's dependent on the circumstances. Like not everybody is going to come from a that loving two family home. They can be two parents there, but let's say the father is a drunk or is abusive. You know what I mean? I think at some point the child is going to be like, why did you keep us in this situation for so long? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of finding a way out. So I just think it's situational.
I don't think children are thinking of breakup, especially when they see their parents together. They're not going to be thinking, why wouldn't you get out? It's traumatic when they go through divorce or they split and one of them are single parental figures. It's traumatic. They don't think, they might even say to their friends, man, I never thought my parents would split up. So I don't like. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
People though that have come from that type of environment, because I've known people like that. I've been in that situation where my kids now were like, why did you wait so long?
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to say there are certain exceptions to the rule, but exceptions to the rule are rare.
Okay.
No matter what it is, if they're like, oh yeah, what was it? Every kid wants their parents together.
I agree.
It's a fact. And then watch, you see it because when the mom gets a new man, but the father's still around, it's something in that daughter or son that doesn't accept it 100%. Because it's just ingrained in them. This is my biological father. He's not. It's just ingrained in them. You know what I'm saying? That's how kids are. Do you believe it's the circumstances that make men more feminine and women more masculine, or is it the lack of true education? So you got to pick one. You can't say, yeah, it's both of them or whatever. Like, which one is it? Is it the government, like Sue said earlier? Is it social media? Is it your feminist groups? Is it your male feminist groups? So I'm splitting two, female feminist groups and male feminist groups. Panders, whatnot. Is it your family? Like, or is it the lack of education? You go first.
Can you repeat the first part of your question again, please?
Is it circumstantial that's making men more feminine and women more masculine, or is it the lack of education? So it could be a breakup. Once she gets through a heartbreak with that guy, she runs to feminism. She got feminism to fall back on. She might not even realize it, but she got feminism to fall back on. When he grew up without his father, when he just use your imagination. I'm breaking two different scenarios for the genders.
Yeah, I definitely do think that is circumstantial more than educational.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I definitely agree. I think it's more circumstantial than educational, because I feel like if it was just educational, the person has to want to educate themselves. You know what I mean? But I definitely think it's circumstantial.
Mm-hmm.
A single mother is forced to step into that masculine role.
So I believe it's the lack of true education.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to earlier when we said that single mom, that some women might say, well, I know some single moms that raised some good men, but no, he's a good man because there was male mentors there. That's education. He got to actually hear, see, absorb, and feel what it's like to be a real man. So he got that, and he changed his path, because his path was not going to be that if it was just him dwelling on his circumstance. Certain black people that might just be like, oh, I'm on the bottom because it's the white man. Okay, you probably born into systemic racism, but at the end of the day, you could still flip that to work it in your favor. So you're not dwelling on the circumstance. You might have a college degree, but that ain't shit. You out there educating yourself to learn about real life. And now things are changing for you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I believe. It's the lack of education. One of the reasons why women fight submission is because of the lack of education. Remember, I told you, the feminist is the way she is due to many circumstances. Why? But she don't really want to be that. And she ain't going to want to be that for too long, especially if she don't have kids and have a family, because eventually she's going to want that. Even the OnlyFans chick, she's going to eventually say, oh, I'm tired of this OnlyFans. I want a family. You see? So it's the lack of education that is not, being given to them. That's why it's a lack of it. They don't see the byproduct. So that's why they don't buy in. But it comes down to the more we can educate and show the result, the more people are going to buy in and just fall in line.
But okay, for those people who are saying like, okay, because we're just talking about single moms a couple of minutes ago, a single mother, right? What kind of education would you give her so that she doesn't become more masculine? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be situational?
She asks good questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, but what education would I give her? Now,
I mean, something that can change that situation now. Not you should have vetted better. You know, that obviously is a good thing, but it's already in the past.
Your aunt's situation is a situation where they're stubborn, or they're no longer, they were stubborn and they were heavy in their masculine. That's why. But a feminine woman ain't staying single too long. I'll tell you that for a fact.
I'm talking about back in the days.
It's in her masculine. It's in her masculine that she's behaving like that and she wants to think like that. But the single mom won't be a single mom for too long if she's getting in her feminine energy. What advice would I give her? Not advice. No, I would give her education on how to be more feminine, because the feminine is built to attract. Okay. And I could educate that, and I don't have to be a woman, because it's an energy. You see that? It's an energy. And if a lot of people see me as a masculine man, if I tell you I like this type of woman, just naturally, the single mom or whatever it is should want to be that. Because even if she don't get me or want me, there's men like him who in a category that may exhibit universal behaviors that may all like the same thing. So in a sense of how she's going to change, there's education on getting her back into her nature. Yoga, absorbing feminine stuff, maybe quitting that masculine job, because that's keeping you masculine, getting a feminine job. Listening to feminine music and soft music, not rap and gangster rap, and absorbing that. Speaking different. You know what I'm saying? Getting more into your spirituality, because that's what the feminine controls. Healing, taking time, especially after that breakup. Grieve. Don't say, "Oh, I gotta get over him. I gotta get him. I don't want to cry. Let me go and sleep with somebody that same night. Let me go on a date." Grieve. Learn yourself. When you learn yourself, you're gonna find God. God is paramount. When you find God and have a relationship with God, you're going to realize God is in you, because we're gods and goddesses with amnesia. Yeah. I used to watch Hercules a lot. There was this episode where he gave up his powers to marry the hind, which is a half horse woman. When somebody touches her, she turns into the hind, but she takes on human form. And he's like, the gods ain't, his brother Ares was like, the gods ain't happy with this. You're going to have to sacrifice some if you want to marry her. He's like, what? You got to give up your powers. He manipulated him. That might have not have been true. So he gave up his powers and he lost his memory. So he's going along the way, and people, because Hercules is there to help, right? That's him. He's loyal to a fault. His heart, he got a big heart. The wheel on the barrel is broken, and the barrel is tilted. Help me, the woman and the husband. Help me, help us. Hercules just comes, I'll just help, and he lifts it up, and the man and the woman are amazed by his strength. How did you do that? You didn't even need any help. I don't know.
No, because he forgot. That
Exactly.
He had the strength.
So it's like, this is the purpose of life, knowing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know yourself, you're going to realize you have certain powers.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman's power is femininity, spirituality too. They coincide with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the more she stays restricted and angry and holds resentment towards men, the more she's digging herself deeper into a hole.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to pick on the ladies. It's like a woman topic today. But it's like the same thing with a guy. If he's going through a heartbreak or whatever it is, oh yeah, let me go sleep the first night or whatever with somebody. You're not taking time to heal from that. Sometimes a breakup for a man is the best thing. Start going to the gym now, bro. You feeling depressed? Start going to the gym now. Build a hobby. Do something. Stay productive. Because the masculine is built to keep going. It don't flow. That's the feminine. Feminine flows. The masculine penetrates. It's built to keep going, to be on the purpose.
Yes.
Let me see. I got a few more questions. What's the difference between controlling and dominant?
The difference between controlling and dominant. Whew. It almost seems like it's the same definition to me.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
I think they're cousins, but I think dominance is
I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing.
It's like it's different, but it's like the
this
same.
is a question that
hold
was on a different.
You had your turn though.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
So go ahead.
Controlling is okay. So you can be dominant in every aspect of your life, but you can't control every aspect of your life.
Okay.
Am I on the right track? No, he's gonna be like, no.
It's your
no.
perspective.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you my perspective. I'm not telling you this is the answer. Other things I could tell you what the answer is. I want to talk about feminine and masculine. I'll give you the answer. But this is not an answer. This is a opinion.
Okay.
Or perspective. The difference between controlling and dominant is that they submit or not.
Yes.
So I'm gonna
said this question on a different show.
Yeah,
and I
that's
was
why
like,
I'm laughing.
because I was like, what was the answer?
Do you understand that, Shakina?
Yeah, I would like a little bit further explanation.
Okay, so let's say, for example, we're in a relationship. You know what type of man I am. You know what type of character I am. You studied my mannerisms for a good amount of time before you whether gave me the number, let me take you out to dinner, whatever, go-kart, whatever it is your idea of fun activities. And I'm like, you know what? I want to make you mine. You know, you belong to me. You are in agreement to that. If I check your phone, you're in agreement to that because you know everything comes with me. That's not controlling. It's dominant because you've already submitted. You know what's coming with me. But if I do that from the first date, if I do that on the first date, it's like, yo, let me check your phone. You might not be disrespectful, okay? But
another girl could be like, what are you doing?
Yo, what the fuck you doing? Like, and she's valid.
She didn't give that okay.
She's valid to that. You know what I'm saying? She has that right. But if you know, if you know from the beginning, I'm telling you, well, I do random phone checks. I don't want you dressed a certain way. Oh, you got feminist friends? That's gonna change. You do this, you do that, boom, boom, boom. Don't post like this online. And you can only keep that social media if you're gonna be productive on there. have business or whatever. Don't do this, don't. And you know of all these things, and you know, oh, this guy ain't playing. He already putting everything on the table of how he is. He ain't playing. And you're still letting me engage with you. And I'm like, I want you to be mine, knowing that I said all these things. And you say, yes, I want that too. The moment I'm like, yo, let me get your phone. Let me see what's going on. Why would you be fighting that?
No,
Why would you be saying that's controlling? I dated a controlling man. No, he wasn't.
Right. You gave him the okay.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That makes
I
sense.
agree.
Saying it, Mr. Discipline, you should really do know how to explain something.
This is my subject
Breaking it
here.
Man, listen, you
Mhm.
should. When are we doing another?
This is my subject.
Wait, when are we doing another workshop?
Masterclass, yeah,
Yeah.
coming soon. Okay, what will make you feel secure to submit to a man? Then there's a
Him.
part two.
Just feeling like he's just that masculine leader.
Okay,
Yeah.
what would make you do the same? Well, what would make you make sure like a man is secure in his masculinity, like based off what you would provide? Like, what would you do to make sure that he's secure in his masculinity, that he wants to provide and protect you for you?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would offer that respect. For me, that would be like the first thing.
Okay.
Nice.
So the first one is, what will make you feel secure to submit to a man?
Okay. Him being consistent with his word and how what he says and his actions.
Okay.
And what was the question? The second one?
What would you do to make sure a man is secure in his masculinity, that he wants to provide and protect for you?
I would make sure that I remain consistent and in what I say and what I do, I think it goes both ways. For him, for me to trust in him, I have to see that he's a man of his word. He's for real. He doesn't go back on what he says. And if he's doing that, then I have to step up and be a woman of my word and do what I say I'm going to do.
Okay. You ladies said some great
High five.
answers
This is teamwork over here.
and great perspectives. Now, to educate the masses out there, men have always been and still to this day are traditional. Even if they hide it, they're modern, whatever, we always go back to our nature. Because if traditional is two terms, most men are that. Now, when women say, oh, I can't find no good men out there, I can't find men that provide and protect, you got to look at what she's doing. You got to look at her mannerisms. You got to look at how she dresses. You got to look at how she moves, because she attracts men that she might think are good, dominant alpha, but those men are concealing their intentions. They're not straight up and honest with her and telling her, well, you're for the streets. You're doing some whole shit. Engaging in whole activity. I'm not going to do that because that's embarrassing for me. It ain't about the world going to see. I'm not going to feel good about doing that because you belong to the streets. So yeah, I'm not gay. I'm not going the other way. We'll have fun, but I ain't going to provide and protect. Oh, so you want to argue with me about being dressed a certain way? You shaming me, saying I'm insecure, I'm controlling? All right, fuck it. I'm not going to protect you. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. So the lack of respect, like you were saying, that's lack of respect. Suhey was saying the lack of consistency. She wants to remain consistency. Most women are inconsistent. And you know what's crazy about that? It's hypocritical, because most women will say, I want a consistent man. But yet again, they'll be inconsistent with their submission. They'll be inconsistent with their respect.
Yeah.
Yo, I need to come up here and talk like this.
What?
Because
this man a mic.
they're not doing it.
That's true.
They're not doing it. You might see a lot of people talking about certain things. Well, women need to be this and women need to be that. But we need to give them the blueprint. We need to give them the benefit of the doubt of not having fathers in their life and whatnot and having a lot of shit guys. That if a man comes where he approach and he gonna show up as a man regardless to push back and he's stubborn in that, I promise you the woman's gonna adjust. She gonna feel stupid not to. She gonna feel dumb. She gonna feel dumb. She gonna be like, that's the dude that got away. After she stops getting emotional, that's the dude that got away. I fucked up. Not him. He ain't in the ain't shit category. Especially if she saw he was different. Because that's not common for a lot of men to do. It's a handful of them out there. Like I said, they exhibit universal behaviors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a situation where the man's not going to feel secure in his masculinity and want to provide and protect. Because he's looking at it like, well, she's not behaving like my mother. She's not behaving like my grandmother. And I saw that my grandparents were together for 60 years, 70 years, whatever, 50 years. My parents were together for so and so. And this is what goes on there. So why would I do that? At the end of the day, the man is still a man. There's still lust there. So it's like, yeah, we might play with him. Fun. But I know ain't nothing going anywhere. Not a lot of men will straight up tell you this ain't gonna go nowhere, but we can have fun. They're gonna play the game. They're gonna lie. They don't got a plan though. But the woman's fucking it up for herself, you know, being with a guy like that because her actions is fucking it up. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I feel like it's not even like her actions that's fucking. Yes, it is, but it's her mentality. Like I have a girlfriend that she's, she has, man issues every now and again. And it's like, I've told her, we've been on this road a couple of times. Like, what is something, there must be something that you're not doing, that you're not catching, that you're supposed to be changing, because you're doing the same thing constantly over and over again. Like, there has to be something that it has to click for you that you're doing something wrong. You have to find out what that is, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. You can't have a different outcome if you're doing and thinking the exact same way.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're right.
I'm on a roll, people.
The masculine energy is stubborn. The feminine energy is not supposed to be. That woman who you're talking about, Sue, is stubborn. She also has a problem with control, relinquishing it.
Possibly.
Because if that was the case, she would be vulnerable and open to receive. It would be a different circumstance. So she has a problem for whatever circumstance happened to her. She has a problem with control, like relinquishing it. And that is what you're going to say, the trauma response. Do you believe submission is universal?
Wait, what does that mean?
So, for example,
men and women?
For example, right? If all men bring the same thing to the table, women will submit. So do you believe that all women submit like the same way? Is it universal? Like, yo, if every man provides and protect, I'ma submit. Is submission universal with women?
I think it could be, but then it brings me back to your answer earlier where you mentioned education. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my answer.
She's like, that's it.
Go ahead.
Is it universal? I'm going to say no. Because not every man is the same. Like, they're not going to provide the same. Oh, but you're saying if they do provide the same, would it be? I'm still going to say no.
I happen to agree with that.
With me?
Yeah. I don't think that submission...
This is crazy. I'm doing everything right today. What?
I don't think that submission is universal because you got to understand, right? And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into it because I got a couple more. I'm going to jump. Okay. So a guy might be doing all the right things and she's just not submitting. So depending on the trauma, depending on who's healed, who's not healed, like all women submit in different ways. It's not universal. The hardcore feminists, right? who runs the world and
Okay.
runs dudes outside of the bedroom
Okay,
wants to
yeah.
be in doggy style.
Right.
So now she's submissive in that environment only. They might have a top and bottom dynamic. Yeah, when we get out the bedroom, I still run shit. Nigga, don't even think about nothing. But when we get in there, yeah, I want to switch it up. You see what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's not the same. You might have a guy who's a gentleman, does all the right things, wants to protect her, provide for her, but that's not making her submit. I need him to be a little abusive. I need him to be a little abusive. Then I'll be ride or die for him. Then I'll be this. Then I'll be that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not universal. And this is my perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's not universal. Maybe if we were talking back in the days, absolutely. But there's different types of women today.
Yeah,
that's true.
Different types of females, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Because the woman is divine. She's going to appreciate that. And that's going to make her submit, because those are the prerequisites to her submission. She's thinking about protection first.
I have a little story.
Don't matter the money he got, whatever.
That
status.
goes along with that. I knew a girl who she was physically abused by her dad. Like her dad used to beat her ass, used to beat the mom's ass, and all that stuff. So she was very in her masculine. Like she used to want to fight chicks and everything. And she got married. Had a couple of kids, and she was still very masculine, but she was like, you know what, I need you to be more rough in the bedroom. So he one day they were getting it on or whatever, and he decides to slap her ass. She turns around and punches him. I was like, what
didn't you ask for that?
I was like, didn't you want that? She was like, I don't know what happened. It was just like a trigger. He hit me, I hit him back. She told him, never mind.
Maybe also I could tell you something that's crazy too. Maybe also she didn't see that in him. Cause think about it, most women don't want to tell men stuff. They just think like, okay, well, you intuitively know what I need.
Yeah.
Depending on the time. Like if I'm horny right now, like you know what I need.
Right.
If I'm stressed, if I'm emotional, whatever, you know what I need. If I'm like, why would I tell you what I need? So it's kind of like a turn off to a sense of, I don't see that because I had to tell him. I don't see that in him.
Yeah, could be.
Not mind readers though. Like you have to be open and speak up.
Yeah,
So,
you're right. You're right.
This girl had a lot of issues, so there was no helping her.
You're right about that. But I just think that the sexual desires part, a woman should not be mentioning that. She should actually keep that a secret.
From her partner?
Because the irony, you know what the irony about it is? It ain't gonna be, oh, she's real and da-da-da-da-da. The irony is he gonna lose respect for you. Especially if he knew you had a lot more experiences in certain circumstances. Oh, you did a lot of BDSM shit? I ain't a dom. I ain't BDSM. Why are you into me? Why are you into me? Like, now I gotta step up. You'll make me feel inadequate. Oh, these are the type of guys you like? So in a sense, it's women adjust more than men. You think women just came out the womb saying they like erotic asphyxiation? They like to be choked? No, a man got them used to that. So it don't matter what type of relationship you had prior to him, you get too used to what's there now. So the woman should not say, yeah, I like it a little rougher. I like this, I like that. It makes her look poor in the man's eyes. And the man's perspective of you matters because he holds the key to relationship and commitment. You can't get yourself a ring. And you could say we go together. If he says no, it's no.
So can I ask you a question? For those women who, love their partner and they just want to spice it up, they should not say anything to their partner, not be honest about it? They
should. Well, the thing is this. If the woman knows that she has this in her, she should find men that coincide with that. Getting with a guy to try to be like, oh yeah, I like this stuff. Yeah, I don't see that in him, but I like this stuff is manipulation. That's like me getting with the hardcore feminist. I know she's a hardcore feminist. She posts online, booty, whatever, cleavage, whatever, this and that, guys flirting and stuff. And I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm going to take her under my wing and I'm going to make her 100% submissive, traditional, this, that, and make her a housewife.
Okay, what if it's a woman who is an avid reader and she's reading one of your books and she's like, this looks really interesting.
Yeah, then find a man like that. Don't try to be like, oh yeah, like let me get my husband to do all this shit. As a matter of fact,
What if they don't
you
know that
actually
they have it in
as a
them?
matter of fact, you're already gonna be cheating. And I shouldn't even say that because I want to sell books, right? You already cheating because the reality.
I'm trying to help you sell the book here.
The reality is, you're probably gonna be thinking about me when you're doing this because you don't even see that in him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do understand. But for those poor women out there,
men get women used to things, not the other way around, because that's just the law, the nature that you always talk about. Men get women used to things. So this is one of the reasons why some women get high body counts. Oh yeah, the sex was bad there. He might have did everything great. The sex was bad there. On to the next. You see, that fucks her chances up of pair bonding too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the reality is, like, the woman shouldn't admit all of these things. She should just see what the guy's gonna be into. And if you're not gonna get a dom, but you had one before, transition completely. Don't just, hey, maybe we should bring these handcuffs.
No. But I mean a woman who didn't even know that she liked that stuff. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not true. I don't believe that. Women know what they like. They may not know what they want.
What if she's like one of those really good girls, very, family oriented and all that stuff, sheltered?
The bad boy,
sheltered. Yeah.
the bad boy or the alpha's gonna bring that out of her.
Ah, okay.
It's not her saying, yeah, I have these. No, because the reality is the good girl who's shy and stuff like that, she's actually retaining that information because she's always worried about what her partner's thinking of her, because her partner's opinion of her is valuable, is high value. You understand what I'm saying? So she's not going to be putting him in positions to make her feel like, yo, I want him to be proud of me, not look down upon me.
So your ultimate answer is that a woman who might have that inkling that she's like that should vet better and find a man that's on her level.
Yeah. Okay. This is also the catalyst of why some women stay in those toxic relationships.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard it. I've heard women say that all the time. He's a piece of shit, but he dicks me down good. Excuse my language. I'm hanging out with this one over here too much.
Have you heard something like that?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Ever been in that situation?
We all know a girlfriend that has. That's good. That's very good.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of times when these women have gone through a lot of these things, it's not so much the inadequacy, right, that the man is feeling. It's more so of, will I be able to satisfy her? That's very important. And you got to understand that if she is really, really big on this, it's going to make her hard to be present in the dynamic. So a man doesn't have to understand what I'm saying, but I guarantee you when they're listening to me, they're like, yo, he's making sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I never was in BDSM, but she likes those type of guys. She likes BDSM. She likes to be tied up. She was probably with a dom prior and she told me that. So what is she doing with me? She gonna expect me to do that? And if I can't, how am I gonna be able to satisfy her? Because this is what she's used to. You see, like those women fuck it up for themselves. What they gotta do is either stay with your type, because we don't shame women for their type. We don't shame them for their preferences. A lot of women be shaming men for their preferences, but men don't shame women for their preferences. If that's your preference, it's cool. If you want to choose a toxic bad boy and see if you get a ring from him, cool, then stick with that. Don't go and lie and try to switch it up. I will never change my preference. I'm not going to think to myself, you know what? Let me get the OnlyFans chick. She doesn't have kids, young. Let me get the OnlyFans chick. Based off my morals and principles, I really don't value what she's doing and I don't respect it. She really should put some clothes on, but let me get with her. And then I'll change my whole mentality of life and relationship. I'm going to give up BDSM. That's not going to work, right?
No.
It's not going to work. I've been doing this too long. It's not going to work. Eventually, I'm going to just blow up. Like the fucking guy who's pretending to be the scared kitten, but he really got a lion in him. Eventually, you're going to expose yourself, certain triggers.
Yep.
So it's not going to work. So what would make a woman cheat on a man who pays all the bills?
I would say, what would make a woman cheat on a man that pays all the bills? I think lack of just being emotionally unavailable.
That's a
I
good
think
one.
that's a really big thing.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that and selfishness.
Damn, those are pretty good. Normally, I don't agree with women.
And
But
this
you
whole
guys-
time, I'll have you guys know, this whole time we've been on the ball. I'm the ball here. He's been agreeing with us.
Mhm.
Okay.
I can't disagree. Like, it makes sense, right? I would just add, you know, she's just not used to it.
Could
You
be,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying? She's just not used to it. She didn't see that growing up. Her father didn't teach her about that. Her mother didn't teach her about it. None of her friends are in those situations.
It could be
she-
one of those.
she
Go ahead.
she's been so hyper masculine most of her life that she's just used to doing things. She's used to resisting. She's not used to being open and receiving.
Like it's too good to be true.
Yes.
Self-sabotage.
Yes.
Also, the main thing that a lot of people don't talk about, he's sexually inadequate.
Well.
Yeah. That's a good
And
one.
because of that, it goes back to what you were saying, Shakina.
Mhm.
I can't be emotionally available. So, yeah, he pays all the bills, but he ain't giving me physical support. Just financial. He ain't emotionally there. He ain't know how to touch me, or he doesn't know how to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it made
Yeah,
me feel like a
selfish.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
Neglection. He works too much.
Mm-hmm.
He's not there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Last question. What would make a man cheat if she's giving him all he wants and submissive to him? Because this is another fear women have. Oh, I gave my all. I didn't get anything back.
Make a man cheat if a woman is
He's
giving
giving
her
him every.
all
Yeah.
and submitting. Well, I do feel that biologically men are not monogamous.
And when
And,
did you realize that? Have you been watching the shows?
I hope so.
excuse me, of course, excuse me. I do I have been watching the shows, and but I realized this, I want to say within the past 4 years, because I've just, I've grown to know myself a lot more, becoming more in tune with myself, and I like reality. I like to be real, so just through life experience, and it just made me, and through life experience and observation of others, it just made me realize, I'm like, you know what? I just don't, and it's not just pertaining to humans. It's with other species as well, other male species.
Like lions and stuff.
Yeah, lions,
mate
tigers.
Oh my.
Yo, can we talk about it? She's right. Can we
Yeah.
talk about it?
I mean, except for penguins. I heard penguins
And
mate.
wolves.
Yeah, I heard they mate for a long time. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I heard that about wolves
yeah.
too, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
agree with her. I'm gonna say that it's just not in their nature. I'm not saying that some men won't strive to be monogamous, but
right.
I think that given the opportunity,
Mhm.
they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Mhm.
So, what would make him cheat if she's doing everything or whatever? Didn't see it growing up. Didn't see it with his mom and dad. Probably grew up with one parental figure.
Or maybe
Oh.
like you said with the woman, he's not used to it either. A woman doing all the stuff.
Yeah. Didn't see it with his grandparents. Doesn't know himself, and he's just diving into his nature. So I agree with you, ladies. I'm just expounding.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know himself, and he's diving into his nature. Because remember, cheat is the operative word. Cheat. She doesn't know about it. She doesn't know you're poly. But if he's telling her straight up, you know, da 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 da, this and that, I'm gonna do this. Maybe you don't want to know about it, engage in it. She already knows that about him. It's not cheating. Like it's like she's catching him. She's catching him lying and shit.
Because he's withholding.
Yeah, he doesn't know himself, so he's not even he's not even able to be honest and talk about those tough conversations, have those tough conversations. You know, so you know that's one of the reasons why it happens. Yeah.
Those are some good questions, Mr. Discipline.
Yes, very good.
Had us thinking hard, man.
I mean, this is my my specialty.
That's true.
All right, so this is part of the segment where we have final thoughts, you know, so food for thought, anything within yourself, the audience. We also have, do you like the show? Do you not like the show? Do you have a problem with what I say?
Also, you can shout out your business and, you know, do you do makeup, stuff like that? What do you do? Something like it's all up to you right now.
I'll give my final thoughts. So I actually love the show. I am a new listener. And I've watched several already, so probably more than that. And I appreciate you know, the information that you guys are giving to the community, and you know, I just want to just share with people to, you know, just trust your process, trust your journey. And another thing too, I feel that like discipline in oneself is freedom, and I think freedom is greatness. And I know this is called the Discipline Therapy Podcast.
It's the greatness therapy.
Oh, I like that too. Yeah, and you know, I appreciate excuse me, I appreciate you guys for allowing me to express my piece and my opinions on your platform, so thank you.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, and you know, just I wish you both continued success.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
My final thoughts, as far as the topic goes, can you tell me what the title was?
What would make a woman not submit to her man?
Oh. As far as the topic goes, I think that, like Shakina said, everyone should know, learn themselves. You know what I'm saying? Stay on your journey. Know that there's there's a purpose for you. And don't think of submission in such a negative light. Educate yourself. You know what I mean? Learn yourself. Learn what that word means. Learn what it means to be submissive to your man. We're not saying be submissive to all men out there. Be respectful. But you know, vet your partner well enough so that you can submit. And also, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and saying all those nice things about us. That's wonderful. I hope we get to have you on the show again.
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
sharing
you.
your perspective. So it's a lot I could say. I'm trying to like just put it all together because we don't want to be here for 2 hours, 3 hours. Because I could talk that long straight, no break. The main thing is this topic for women heal. You know, the journey, it's not going to happen overnight. The healing journey. Be humble and learn mannerisms of submission. And you have to want it. For those women that don't want it, don't tune in. But you have to want it because you have to see that it's not just a betterment because I want to get a man. It's for yourself. You mentioned discipline is synonymous with freedom. May not be verbatim. But when a woman is in her masculine, she's a slave to society, whatever relationship. She's a slave. When she's more in her feminine, she's free. So, you know, me, I'm the type of guy, I don't have patience for a lot of women who are fighting my authority and leadership. I'm quick to release. Now, some women might say, oh, he didn't wait for me. He didn't have patience. The only way I'm going to invest in a woman is if she comes to me humble. This is why I say you got to be humble. She has to ask me, Daddy, can you please help me? A lot of women are afraid of those words. I don't want him to think I'm weak. I don't want him to think I'm inadequate. As a matter of fact, the irony is a real man appreciates that. That's strength. That's strength. The masculine is different if the masculine's like struggling with, oh, I don't like asking people for help. That makes sense. But the feminine should not be the one that's struggling for assistance, especially that partner they chose to lead. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a master teacher. What? Oh, I'm sorry. They're the same things. A master student, a teacher student, a master pupil. You know what I mean? Could be in a dojo. The child, the student or whatever, the pupil is trying to outdo him. Like, you ain't been here.
Mm-hmm.
Relax. I've been doing this a while. So at some level, you got to be humble if you want to be at this level. I'm a god. You might not be a goddess yet. You want to get to that goddess level. I'm here already. So you should trust the person that's leading. That's the only way where I'll invest. If they come humble. Too many women today are taking pride in being stubborn. They're taking pride in, I don't need a man. But they still use a toy that's built like a male genital organ and play with it. They still have a man around. Your tire blows out, whatever. You don't know things about cars. 1% of women do. Everything we built was man created. So you still needing a man, technically, as the technical beast, you still need a man. They're taking too much pride in that. Like, so they have to be humble. And I'm not saying for you to be like that with every man, because a lot of women have submitted to the wrong man. You just have to vet properly. Now, this goes back to what I was saying before. If you can find yourself, you will find God. If you find God, you will realize that God is within you. We are gods and goddesses with amnesia. Now, when you get to God mode, things will start to be abundantly clear for you. You will start, ooh, my intuition is at a high level. Oh, I'm doing this. Shit, I did a lot of stupid things. I did this, I did. You're able to decipher, especially with the counterpart, the person you want to submit to. So the reality is, ladies, you want to submit. So choose better. Accept better. Don't just, okay, I'm going to give the guy me because he's giving me the most attention. Yeah, he's not what you want. That's dangerous there.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to be single for a little bit. God ain't going to send you a man, so stop bothering him. He's busy. You got to prepare yourself for the man because you're built to attract.
Yes. Yes.
God's
yes.
busy. He got a lot of other stuff to do. He ain't sending you a man, especially if you showing him that you are not ready for that. Lying. Yep. So it's very imperative that women heal. I'm not saying for men to not heal. The women got to heal more because even if the men are not healed, she can decipher. She's not just going to think like an idiot. Oh, I'm just going to take the unhealed guy because I'm there. No, it's not going to work because the masculine energy is more potent even if he isn't healed. He's going to be fucking you up. He's going to be making you regress. You want to find somebody who's on there because women are hypergamous by nature. You want a man superior. That's the only way you're going to build with him, not on your level. And you can't take a man and say, well, I'm going to get him there. That's manipulation. And that's why you get your karma by getting fucked up there. You ain't a leader, so why are you trying to take on the leader masculine role? People got to talk. Yeah, people got to talk like this.
Yeah.
They got to bring this. It's very important. Like, I love to educate. It's very important that we bring this to the community light because the lack of this, the resistance is the lack of education. It's not the circumstance. Things happen in the past, but what are you doing now? You still doing the same thing? You still are the same way? That's the difference. This is when you know you're healed, not just because you can talk about it and you won't cry. You know that you are at peace with it. And where you're going, it's elevation. And you want to find people who are on the same path, same wavelength, same lifestyle, same type of energy. spirituality.
Yeah.
And when you get into your spirituality, men, you're going to be in your masculine. Women, you're going to be in your feminine. Yeah, we're born with both, but we are in our core. The other is low. So the man can turn his feminine up during circumstances where she need it because, he wants to cuddle right now. He's nurturing in a sense. He's empathetic. He's compassionate. And that's when you want to bring it up. The woman can bring up her masculine, motivating him. Or maybe in her job.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But we need to educate because there's too many people just doing what other people are doing and they think that's success. And it's like, no, we need to find God because this is the law.
Yes.
The spiritual structure is God over man. So he submits to God first. You find a man like that. Then man over woman. And then it's woman over children. It's never, we're both kings here. We're both queens. No, that's the natural law. And that's what helps it remain consistent, order, and discipline. So there's no chaos. Don't you always see those like high masculine women who are with those guys? It's chaotic. It don't last.
Yeah.
We see it with celebrities. We see it don't last. The kids grow up to be fucked up. Like, learn your nature. Learn to be patient. Sometimes the woman's power is silence. You see how these ladies are on here? They see a man is talking, so they're not like talking over me, this and that. I'm trying to get let me prove him wrong. Let me challenge him. No, even right here they're submissive. It doesn't have to necessarily mean that they belong to me or whatever it is. It's more so of like, yo, you know what? Like, I'm in my femininity. If I'm in my femininity, like, I respect men. You know what I'm saying? I respect men. There's a level of, it's not, like there's a borderline. It's not respect and friendly. They're not interchangeable. Like, you can be respectful, but not be friendly, giving him the wrong idea. You know what I'm saying? Women need to go back to respecting men. And then men will go back to loving women because this is what we need.
Yes.
Men haven't changed. Women have due to feminism. So if women can get back into it and they follow more spiritual and divine feminine women, they'll get on that path and they'll get the man that they truly want. Now, the man that you truly want, there are certain things you're going to have to sacrifice to get him because you have to qualify for these type of men. So maybe you have certain toxic tendencies where you like going on trips every month. Maybe you have to give that up because he doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have to give up something. Oh, he's kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? He's this and that. Yeah, but are you looking more in depth? Does he provide safety? Is he willing to offer? Is he doing all these other things? So he can't. It's a balance. You can't just be boring and stuff of this nature, and then not also provide. You know what I'm saying? This happens a lot with younger girls. Because women get older eventually, and then they start to like, okay, well, this is what I value now in a man, because now they could decipher. That's what it comes down to. You find God, you're going to find yourself, and more things will be clear for you. And you'll be able to decipher, there's 100 toxic men. I know if I go that route, it's going to be bad for me. I need to find these guys. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to find them in church. You have to vet them. So yeah, go on dates. Don't give up the pennies right away. And that's hard for a guy to say, right? Because I'm fucking the game up. Right? A lot of dudes want to have sex with women. I'm fucking the game. But I could still say this and still get buns. Yeah. But at the end of the day, women need to stop doing that. Stop sleeping on the first night. You don't know him.
I agree.
Take your time. And at the end of the day, women need to be honest too. Because sometimes a guy might be just playing, you're playing. Your social media can't be dirty. And then you telling him, oh, yeah, well, you know, I'm really celibate and I'm a good girl. And, you know, I don't fuck guys on the first date. I don't know if I believe that. I was scrolling through your Instagram for like 4 minutes. and I see all these crazy shit. Looks like you clearly do give it up on the first night. So are you lying or what? Now he's going to conceal his intentions because he thinks she's concealing his. Oh, she wants to play a game. I'm going to play a game. So she don't even know that she's now with a guy that's wearing a mask. And now she's going to get fucked up there and she don't know. That's dangerous. Like a predator. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
So women need to actually value the men more who are actually going to come and be straight up and put things on the table. Oh, not saying he's an asshole, because that's not an asshole. That's a man that wants to invest. The man that doesn't is going to conceal his intentions. Maybe sometimes women should test these guys. Oh, you telling me you like these type of women? I mean, if I did this, would you date me? See what he was going to say. Because a lot of these dudes won't even tell their girl, yo, you doing some whole shit. I don't like that. Because they don't want to seem like the bad guy. So it comes down to healing on both ends, but the woman needs to heal more. And if she could take time, especially after certain breakups, then she'll be able to decipher. Like, you'll get out of your emotions, you'll start to dissect the situation, and you'll be like, okay, this is where I fucked up. This is perhaps where he fucked up, but this is where I fucked up. Oh, what can I do to change this? Like Sue was saying, yo, you can't keep doing the same thing, hoping for the same results. That's the definition of insanity. That's crazy, ladies. Like mental institution type. A lot of women are mentally ill. They're just, oh, let me get this bag now. Let me get over this man. No, you need to take time to grieve.
Definitely.
You need to take time to grieve.
Yeah, feel that.
The more you take time to grieve and feel that, you're going to see you're going to get more in your feminine. You're going to get more in your feminine. I promise you. And I could teach women this and not have to be a woman because a God is in me. They speak through me sometimes. So maybe your ancestors can't get through you. So they say, yo, we're going to appoint him to get through it. It might just be when I'm on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? So it comes down to that. Like the woman got to be humble because men actually respect and value feminine women. They don't respect and value masculine, aggressive women. They don't like that. That's what we got to understand. Like men want respect, women want love. But how you going to get love from that man? I don't know no masculine woman that gets love. She might lie and say, yeah, no, it ain't real. The moment you start seeing yourself putting at risk, you're going to know, oh, he don't love me. Because you're getting this education. But it might fly over your head if you're uneducated. So know your nature, men and women, but especially women. Know your nature. Yeah, you might have these certain dark desires, but don't make that the catalyst of why you choose certain guys. Don't make that the catalyst. Try to find that guy who's like an all around. You know what I'm saying? Try to find that. You know, because then all your needs will be met. And that's the best way to do it. And he's going to, by him being in there, he's going to help you stay consistent in your femininity. You know what I'm saying? But women got to be, they got to be humble. That's part of the problem too. Other women are saying, fuck niggas, do this, do that. CIA putting certain music out there to fuck up the community, especially the black ones. You know, and they're feeding into it. They're falling into the trap of feminism. So it's breaking up the home. You know what I'm saying? We got to break out of the matrix. This is breaking out of the matrix. Men being masculine, women being feminine. And by the law of attraction and polarity, we're not just going to come together. It's going to be durable. It's going to be sustainable. The masculine woman could gravitate the feminine guy, but that's not sustainable because they're both out of their nature. They're both toxic, actually. The masculine man is healthy. The feminine woman is healthy. There's not a toxic masculinity because God is in him. That's like you saying a horrid God because God is in a masculine man. So toxic masculinity is actually an oxymoron. Masculinity is divine. It's good. It's healthy. So is femininity. Feminism or feminist is toxic. So the more education we get, the more we're going to change. I promise you that. The education is paramount. That's what's going to make people get on the path. They're going to see the result. Because, you've been doing the same shit. Clearly, it ain't working. You got to try something different. All right. Anything else you want to say? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, passionate, and intense, real, no holds barred podcast, the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.